This video is for Chapter 9 model creation. XZ plane will create a rectangle. For this model we need to use inch. For dimension, add for corner fillet. Repeat for all four corners. And we'll add 4 circles. We can also add dimension first. Repeat for all 4 circles. We need to dimension this. Alright, so this need to be extruded by 0.75. Next we need to create a work plane. Plane at angle. We will select y-axis by 30 degrees. We'll see that this is the plane we created as a construction plane. Now I want to use this construction plane for our sketch. Because we want to create a projected line for our reference, we switch to the home view so we can look at that three-dimensional way. We'll go to Sketch, Project, and then when we select this projected line, it will be projected to this plane with this line as our first reference. Okay, now we can start sketch. But before we start sketch, because this sketch needs to be symmetric along this axis, we want to add a construction line. This is not in the textbook, but I want to add it so it's easier for us to define symmetric constraint. Escape, and we right click and then construction line, and I also want to fix this line. Okay, next we want to add the sketch. You may notice that I'm doing this in a three-dimensional way. If you're not feeling well about three-dimensional drawing, you can always switch to two-dimensional. So let me switch this because it doesn't look as it's intuitive. So I will undo everything we did, and then let's click this look at, and then we go to Sketch 2. So this will bring this to the two-dimensional way. Now we can sketch. Try to be on the grid because this saves you some effort. It may actually create some implicit constraint for you, so you don't have to do this yourself. Okay, so you see that there are a bunch of horizontal, vertical, and perpendicular constraints. Before we add dimension to it, we want to add more symmetric constraint. So click this, and if you look at the hint, it will say the first object, second object, and then select the middle one, and then one more time. You'll see that it's symmetric, and one more time, and symmetric. We also want to add these two to be the equal lengths. So we click this and we click this. So we got a bunch of constraints. Let's add one more. We want to add this to be equal to this, this to be equal to this. Alright, a bunch of constraints making it easier for us to define the shape. Now we add dimension. This one is 1.5, and you can see that it's automatically extended on both sides because they are equal in length. Let's add this one also, 0.25. You can go with 0.25 for this one also. 0.75. Because we use a symmetric constraint, it's not necessary to define half to be 0.75. Alright, so we add another arc on top of it. And we add another circle. .75. Well, apparently we didn't define the length here, so let's define it. Press D. It's 0.25. Okay, because I defined so many symmetric constraints and equal length constraint, it automatically adjusts the other side. Alright, so that's all the dimensions, and now we can extrude it. We will need to select two of them. Let's rotate a little bit so we can see what's going on. So this need to be symmetric. Row length is 1.0. Join, and we'll click OK. So this is the feature on the top. Now we want to add a hole at the center. So what we will do is we'll add an offset plane, and it's offset from the top plane by 0.75. So this is the work plane we created for the next sketch. We'll use this plane now. Sketch, select it, let's drag it over, and we'll just add our circle to it. That's relatively simple. For the diameter, 0.25. Now we want to add our extrude cut. Select it, and then you need to just through all. Okay, so that concludes the definition of this model. we need to save it. Rod guide